Well, hello, hello, hello. How are you? I hope everybody is doing well, especially you. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. I'm Mama D. So happy to be here with you. We're going to be talking Idaho 4 case again, deep dive. And I'm still breaking down those, what would you call it? Interactions of the girls and so forth, their phone records and so, and we have the MM calling Bethany at 2:53. Now, some folks, not many, but a couple, were like, maybe that's not Maddie, maybe it's someone else. Here's the deal. So, whenever there is court documents, and they will assign initials like MM to someone, then let's say somebody else comes up with MM as their initials. They're not going to use the same ones, right? Because it's going to confuse the jury. It's going to confuse the judge, everybody. And so they're going to leave it MM for the original person, and they may go by the middle name of another person. So they might be like, that MM has A as their middle initial, so we'll go MAM. So when we're looking at the court documents and we're seeing Maddie Mogen, right? Because that's in the conversation. I mean, they're talking about calling MM, Bethany calling MM, DM calling MM, right? Well, now in this case at 2:53, 1 minute later than we'd ever known before, there was phone activity on Maddie's phone. So at 2:53 a.m., Maddie called Bethany. And why didn't Bethany answer? Now, you can't be telling me, don't even go there, oh, she was asleep. I don't care if she was asleep. Dylan texts her and calls her, and she wakes up and takes that call. Okay, so, or if she was asleep, you know what I'm saying, she got those calls. So the question is, why would Bethany not have taken the call? The question is, what would Maddie, if it was Maddie, if you believe it is Maddie with her phone, which I personally do not. I know a lot of people are like, how could you not believe that? I don't believe any of the victims had their phone after 2:52 or even before that. But that's just my humble belief. What are your thoughts? So we do have a poll going. We're going to be open discussion. There'll be a lot of conversation from our live audience. I want to thank all my mods. Personally, thank you so much. And everybody that joined us on the live, as well as you on the replay as well, too. True Train coming through. Hi, Care Scorpio. You said, I think that was the original signal. It's done, in my opinion. Ooh. Wow. I had not thought of that. It's so weird that it would be to Bethany's phone. That's a possibility. Hi, Linda Annie. How are you? Hey, Ocean Deep, Jennifer Swain, Rachel Higgy. Hey, Zoe, I missed you, Zoe. So, share your thoughts. I don't want to fill the hour up with just me talking. I do that far too often. Today, I would like to hear from you guys because I'm stumped as to why Bethany wouldn't have picked up the phone. Why would she ignore the call? And then they got home 9 minutes apart, allegedly. So if Bethany is getting home at 1:45 and Kaylee and Maddie are said to have come home at 1:56 a.m. exactly, that's 9 minutes. You're going to tell me there wasn't cross traffic in the same house at all? Nobody said anything? There was nothing? Like, what happened to as each individual arrived at the house? Where's that story? Like, when Bethany got home, where did she go? Did she go to the bathroom? Did she go in the kitchen? Did she go talk to Zan at all? Say, hey, how was your day? What were the interactions of that house? Because why would Maddie not just text Bethany? Why call her? She's in the same house, unless there's some, maybe Bethany wasn't there, maybe it's not Kaylee with the phone. I'm at a loss. I'm stumped on this whole, like, that was the main question. Like, okay, let's say for a moment, hypothetically, pretend that we knew that the perp had the phone. Why call Bethany? But now that you guys said it was done, that could be the answer. I don't know. We do have a poll going. I'm going to do my best to I'm going to read all the answers now, but we'll reread the poll if I remember the question. So get your votes in right now so they count. The poll says, why do you think Maddie called Bethany at 2:53 a.m.? Now, if you chose A, and you can play along at home, A, she wanted to know if BF was home. Are you home yet? Right? That's one of the thoughts I had. B, it was the perp using MM's phone. C, MM was calling BF for help. Or your choice could be D, no idea, and why didn't Bethany answer, right? So it's very evenly broken down. I've never seen it this balanced, right? So she wanted to know if Bethany was home. A, right now, we've got 74 votes, 76 votes, 77. Okay, it's climbing. 25%. So a quarter of the people believe she wanted to know if Bethany was home. I want to talk about that. All right. B, it was a perp using MM's phone. 33, the majority feels that way. B. Doesn't mean it's, just because the majority feels that way, doesn't mean that that's the answer, but it is interesting. C, Maddie was calling Bethany for help. 16%. Well, that would go no good, right? Because she don't want to get help till a day later. And then D, no idea, but why didn't Bethany answers at 28%? A, B, C, or D? All right, I'll try if somebody reminds me to come back, but that was our poll at the time. We were just shy of 100 votes, and it's only been running a matter of a couple minutes. So, hey, Laura. Aw, bless ya, Viv. Hope you feel better. Viv, I hope you feel better soon. I don't know what's wrong, but I hope you feel better. Nikki says, I think Roach and Sigma Chi went to sort Ethan and Xana. Then JD had his buttons pressed and went to sort Maddie and Kaylee, probably knowing that Roach was already there. I think BF saw JD. Thank you, Nikki B. I don't watch other readers, just so you know. It's not my thing. I keep my energy clean on that. Could they have had a disagreement? That's another, You know what I heard a lot of? Now, again, hypothetical spaghetti at the wall. We do that here. We speculate. I've heard that people will say, well, could Bethany have been jealous of Kaylee? And I don't have an answer, but that's interesting. Hi, Rooster Possum. Jolie Brown, Mama D, watch. Yeah, no, sorry, sweetheart. I don't watch that stuff because I have to keep my own energy, available, unbiased. Hi, Carolyn Miller. Likely perp using phone. So, isn't it weird, like, think of how that run happens. So at, 2:34 or something like that, the texting and calling between Kaylee and Maddie to JD's phone happened. That goes unanswered. And then at 2:52, Kaylee's phone, the last one to call Jack, drops off the network, the only phone in the house that drops completely off the network. A minute later, Maddie is calling Bethany. Not even a minute, seconds later. That's wild. To me, that all matters. That all very much matters. That timing is so precise. But what's even weirder is not only was it weird that JD didn't answer because he had just been at the corner club, the bar, with them just within the hour. He said he went home to play video games and hang out with his friends, but he couldn't answer his phone because he was asleep. So which is it? Video games and your friends, or you were sleeping? It ain't both. And you didn't pick up the calls. She didn't answer the calls. But then Kaylee calls Bethany and she doesn't answer. Now at this point, that's weird to have so many calls go unanswered, not from just one person, but from another person as well. Like nobody's picking up. Then the red rum happens, quadruple homicide, and again, still nobody picking up no phones. See what I'm saying? I get that they're gone and they can't pick up their phone. But why didn't Bethany answer? Why didn't JD answer? This is just wild at all the unanswered calls that happened within that short time frame. Why would Bethany have not answered that call? Or at least immediately called it back within minutes. But that doesn't happen either. It's so weird. Hey, Tiffany Crockett. Annette S. says, could Kaylee have been attacked first? And then Maddie woke up and tried to call out. Sam Smith, how are you doing? Good to see you. Right, Samantha Kelly. If I had a disagreement with someone, I wouldn't answer. Yeah? It's also interesting because Bethany was at Sigma Chi party with Santa and Ethan where the fight broke out. And then, oh my God, what if you're right? What if it's the whole, Maddie, what did you tell Adam? Oh, I told Adam everything. And that got back to Bethany and everybody at Sigma Chi, because it doesn't mean that Maddie told Adam everything at the corner club just a minute or two ago. It could have been a week ago. I doubt it. That town talks pretty quick, but it could have been much earlier in the night. And then, could that have all come out at Sigma Chi and Bethany found out about it and now there's a disagreement? I just find it super suspicious that there's not like a try to call her back right away kind of thing. Yeah. Hey, Tiffany Crockett. Tiffany Crockett says, I get so sick and tired of people acting like those girls are the prettiest in the world and Brian couldn't dream of being with Kaylee or Maddie. That's sick. They are very pretty. And Brian probably is not going to be their kind of guy. That's just my opinion. I mean, face it. I don't know, though. Jack D is about as nerdy as you can get. So maybe there is something there. Nikki B, we have never heard anything about we have never heard anything about the alleged Sigma Chi fight. No. We do know the cops spent like an eternity at Sigma Chi. What was it, like 3 nights, 3 days or something, that it was like cop cars all over, parked all around Sigma Chi. M says, Carolyn, I have a feeling tension was building in the house. I agree with that. I agree with that. Laura says, Nikki, the girls are definitely hiding something. What do you mean? Hey, Twilight Twinkle. Maddie should have called 911 if that was the case. Well, even if Maddie was calling Bethany for help, it might not be life-saving. It might just be like, hey, can you come help me do this? Or, okay, here's the other thing. We can't ignore that Kaylee's Indeed account was hacked after her death. And then, when you read these court docs, Bethany is on Indeed. That's wild. That's just wild. Okay, Carolyn Miller is asking, why would Dylan want to live on the second floor with another couple? Because Ethan was basically living there sharing her bathroom, too. That's a good question. DK Liss, hello, welcome. Adam had bushy eyebrows. Amen, brother. And is a little taller than DM. Yep, basketball pro at a school. White and skinny. Athletic built, right? Just saying. I 1000% agree. And there's a picture out there of Adam all in black, you know? And I'm like, well, that could be the exact description. And ain't nobody other than Syed or whatever Said has bushier eyebrows. That kid on the band field where the alcohol bust was at 3:12 a.m., that guy has the bushiest eyebrows I've ever seen in my life. But, in fact, a lot of us thought they were fake. However, look at Adam Lotta. His eyebrows are like, boom. I mean, right there. Oh, that says that? I didn't know that, Care. Scorpio says you can PM on Indeed also. You can send messages, so maybe BF was talking to someone. Well, and then you have the whole anonymous yik yak with Dylan going on that within 10 minutes before they call, 20 minutes. I think it was 20 minutes before she's on the phone, snuffle up on it, it up on 911. She's on Yik Yak and Bravo Bree. If I'm a girl in that house, I might be kind of sickening to have a man who is not paying rent moving into the house of all the girls. Yeah, but we're talking little tiffs. These are quadruple brutal homicides. There's, doesn't matter if there was tension because somebody had a guy there or not. It doesn't mean you're going to take out all your roommates but one, right? Oh. Ollie Semper Favette. Follow the love life of all the girls in the past. Woo, chat is flying. If you need me to slow it down, let me know. Follow the love life of all the girls and past BFs as well as the boys concerned. Follow the money trail. Follow the drug trail. Many guests equals drugs involved. I think there were some, but not that much because the tox reports show these kids are clean according to everything that I've heard. And I don't know many people that are heavily into that world that are going to test clean. Now, if I had a tox report that said, hey, this person is dirty, I could see it. But I have a hard time acknowledging that it's a rug house. But there's no prior bus when the cops are there all the damn time. That many people partying it up. See, I don't think that kind of traffic would be welcome if they were peddling drugs out of it because they're going to get busted and you see it. They're out there collecting, alcohol out of the driveway. They just too much about bringing in attention. Most rug houses right? Or kind of more on the down low, like, they sit around, smoke weed, play video games, and stay quiet. Curtains drawn so you can't see what's going on in there. There ain't a damn curtain on this house. The whole world can watch these kids. This is crazy how there's not even a curtain, so I just can't. My ex is sitting in prison for being involved in this kind of rug world, and I know that world, what it looked like. It ain't nothing like this little on the corner house that's lit up like Christmas with all the curtains open and hundreds of people in there. My God, you'd be worried about your rugs getting ripped off. I mean, they don't party at the rug dealer's house. That's not normal. Those are private parties behind private gates, locked, so that the police can't just come. Who owns this house? Hey, can I get somebody to answer the door? You feel me? It's too much traffic that doors aren't even locked at time. People can come in and out. Cops are there. If this was a rug house, it would look completely different in my opinion. Now, I've done a lot of research on rugs. If there's any rugs involved of dealing, that's coming from a frat house or a sorority house, meaning they got a place to hide it. And that could be that they've got pressers to press out pills. I don't know. But as far as the house itself, I can't go that way. Alpha, honey, I have heard 1,000 things in this case. I've heard that Bethany isn't Bethany, that she's this or she's that DM's a male, even though the parents have showed that she's a little girl from Little Bitty in pictures. I mean, we hear. What we need to do is figure out, like, what's real and what's not real in this case is almost impossible. But the one thing I do know is BK is not getting a fair shot at a fair trial. So how's he going to get a fair trial if we can't even get a fair shot at a fair trial, right? Hold on just a minute. I was going to mute while I drank. I got so much talking. Oh, and by the way, for those of you that love my channel, I appreciate you so much. I am not Bubbly Waters. I don't know what she looks like, but she and I are completely two different people. So I really appreciate it if you quit calling me Bubbly. Because I have to put it down every time. I'm not Bubbly, but thank you. I guess somebody says I sound like her, but I don't think so. I've listened to her. And to me, she's got a much more firm, kind of like that, and then she says that, and then she says that. I'm more like a flow to my voice. But a lot of people say I sound like her, or she sounds like me. I think she does a very good job, in all respects to Bubbly Waters. Susan says, Bubbly had a picture of how many people was packed in like sardines at one of the parties there, and couldn't see any of the roommates that lived there. If that's a rug house, you're not going to be leaving massive amount of people in your house while you're gone. I'm just saying, there's no, wall safe, and any little safe in your room couldn't walk. So I just don't see it. Carolyn Miller Hunter, next door, I believe, was a supplier to DM. DM slung out back bedroom window, in my opinion. Backwood Beats and Outlaw Rhythms. Welcome back. Web of lies surrounding the fraternity and sororities. Only way the town survives is the money. Boom! You get a gold star. Our goat, our mascot. You get a gold star. It's all about the fraternities. It's all about the sororities. They pay the bills. They are the town. They run the world. Remember when this took place and it shut that town down and like they were so scared they wouldn't even there was nobody ordering Uber or DoorDash? Remember the interviews, how they said that their town may not survive because all the income was based off of the college students. So, when you think of that, could it be somebody that wanted to just shut the college down? Sure. Could it have been an outsider? Could it have been a stranger? Sure. Except that dog barking nonstop was spared. And that's something that they would have done, is silenced a barking dog to commit the crime. They probably would have silenced the dog before they started the crime, in my opinion, if they're unknown, if they're an outsider. I think they would have shut that dog up in order to commit the crime. Just saying. Alpha and Omega, I also believe the fraternities get murderers in them and are psychopathic in nature. I would say that there's something about that elitism and how protected that little secret society, because even though it's not a secret, they still have secret societies within them, protects the I can never say the word, anonymity. It protects that person. So I could see where, yeah, that could very easily happen. Susan Roscoe, Hunter answered the door on a camcording and said nothing. Oh, chat's flying. Hold on. I can't keep up. Said nothing if the roommates were home. He gave the Kaylee's number, the Cubs, and she was at Corner Club. Exactly. Hey, Thomas Sharp. 2DM got her to come back. Who knows, as DM friends with EB, Emma Bailey. Yeah, Emma Bailey's always bothered me. My lips are so chapped I can peel them. Jennifer Nicholas, the crime was long done when the dog was barking. That's my opinion too. That's my opinion too. I think the dog was barking at cleanup crew. Three. Okay, so you're numbering them. I'm like, the first one you put, Thomas, was a 2. All right, so number 3. What did you tell Adam, Maddie? Everything. They're going to get you guys for that. 2 hours later, they are unalived. Thomas Sharp, you earn it. Jack Showalter, allegedly Jack Showalter, the hoodie guy, allegedly said, and I heard it, you heard it, sounds like it, either we're going to get you girls for that, or they're going to get you girls for that, Maddie, right? They. And then they're dead. And that's not of weight. That's not of consequence. That's just normal chit-chat according to Steve G. Are you effing kidding me? They're going to get you girls for that, Maddie. Maddie, what did you tell Adam? Oh, I told Adam everything. What in the actual hell did they get told? What are they going to get you girls for? Oh, Susan, you're so right. Lots of things coming out that WSU Kim was saying. Hold on. About them being on social media. People there know things, but her daughter said the motto there is snitches get stitches. Oh my God. There was this post, and Okay, I can't remember it exactly, so I'm not going to quote it. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to leave that alone because I want to read it before I... Hey, Jonestar. Were the 2 that survived tested for drugs or alcohol the day that the police turned up? Oh, wouldn't I love to know that, Jim Star? I would love to know that. You guys are so smart. GS, hello. You said, hey, I have a post that was anonymously posted back on 1/6/23. Can I send it to you so you show it to those that haven't seen or forgotten? Sure, you can send it to rubberducky2005 @yahoo.com. Tell her Ruby Monroe, hello. Laura says, Mama, can you slow chat down? The mods can do that too. I'm not sure if I can do it while I'm on. Let me look. Message delay for this video. Okay. Let me see. I'm getting it. Okay. I didn't do it. There, I did. It's like slow-mo is on, slow-mo is on, slow-mo is off, slow-mo is on, and chat is gone, right? I totally did something wrong. Okay, I tried. I hope I did it. Only did it 20 seconds. Hey, Scorpio girl, good to see you. Hi, Mama D. Finally got live. Love your content. This case is crazy. Thank you so much, Scorpio girl. Thank you. Passion flower. That 4chan. I have always been about the 4chan. I've always really been fascinated by it. I've done a lot of videos on it. Passion flower, also a lot of the 4chan stuff seems it could be true too. I agree with you. It's very interesting. Gail says, Adam Excedra at Corner Club, that still photo did not look right. It was a bar and everybody looked serious. And all the lights were on. Didn't that bother you guys? Like, I've never been into a bar at like 1:30 in the morning and all the lights are on. Like, no dance music, no keeping it down on the low. No, it was like this. Bright as day, right? It's just crazy to me. There's so much. Ocean Deep, you say, this has to make the girls look guilty. No 911 call, but many messages exchanged. I don't get it. I know. I don't get it either. I don't sound like bubbly. Tiffany Crockett says, as she is really getting on my nerves, something isn't right about him. He's been getting on my nerves for over a year. Totally. Ooh. Chat's still flying. Alpha Omega, supposedly the info in the field comes from an early anonymous interview with one of those close to the 3 people. What? What did I miss, Alpha? Did you have another post? I don't see it. Thomas Sharp, you all have to remember Kaylee was in a true crime, and that could be the biggest motive. Oh my gosh, Thomas, no wonder your last name is Sharp. You're nailing it. Kaylee was totally into true crime. You go on to say specifically if she was investigating what was going on. I still think Kaylee was investigating the deaths. Hannah Claire's death. Think about it. It's been rumored that Kaylee and Hannah Claire were roommates. Okay? Could Kaylee and Maddie have been working on that together to find out what really happened to Hannah? And then when Hudson Lindo happened, they were highly suspicious. Well, Hudson Lindo was directly connected to Ethan because they rushed together at Sigma Chi the year before. And then Hudson Lindo in April of 2021, just under 6 months prior to a quadruple homicide of Ethan, Santa, Kaylee, and Maddie. Whoa! I don't know if you saw my tea glass, but it was like rocking and rolling, and I grabbed it blind. Anyway, that was a feat. But where was I? Hudson Lindo. So I'm always coming back to that. Eventually, I always get back into that and go, was Kaylee actually investigating Hudson Lindo's death? And then I go into Maddie, what did you tell Adam? Because Kaylee could have been talking to Maddie, Ethan, and Santa about everything, or even in that house, right? I don't know. Gemstar says, big up the slow-mo. Afternoon reserved glitching. Good to see you as always. Alpha Omega says supposedly that. Okay, I did read that. I'm really far back in chat. Or you reposted one or the other. One question, says Lolo. Hi, Lolo. Do you think the Idaho 4 will ever be judged by truth? Okay, let me reread that. Do you think the Idaho 4 will ever be judged by truth? Do you think the truth will ever come out? Do you mean that? Yeah, I do. The truth is always revealed. Susie666, I'd like to see trace evidence of where BF and DM were making all these calls, etc. from. Do you think that they will come out in the trial? I hope so. I definitely hope so. GS Hun, I'm not going to stop my live and go check my email. Sorry. I just get the feeling BF wasn't at King Road. Susie. Well, if she wasn't, then the police are absolutely knowing that and hiding it because they would know. They would absolutely know the truth. Care Scorpio says there was body cam footage of police creeping around the home one night. It's pitch black, and they take notes on how there are no stairs in the back. It's creepy. They illegally stalked that home. That was daytime. In the video where they're talking about no steps in the back, that's the middle of the day. Yeah, he goes way back at the top of the hill in the backyard, and the other officer is waiting. That's the one where they take a picture of her driver's license that they make the comment about there being no stairs up to the balcony. And that is so weird. The fact that they even photographed this ID is weird. Right, Nikki B. August, the trial is due to start. I hope it does. I agree, Thomas Sharp. Steve G is still tainting the case. What would be your motive of that? So let's say you have a loved one that is unfortunately a victim to homicide, and you want the truth. Why would you lie about crap to make someone look guilty? Like you know it's a lie, and you purposely tell the lie to make them look guilty. It's almost as if you're protecting someone. JD. Just saying. I agree, Susan Rusko. Brian's family may need to be protected from the G family. That is getting weird, ain't it? That's just wrong. Vicky Penny, when... Can you boys be quiet, please? Lucky. I mean, that was a throw your head back and bark kind of, you know? That was wild. Where were we? Brian's family. Okay, I did read that. Vicky Penny says when the police went to their residence, it's still moving too fast. Check the photo. They also bypassed the front door and went right to the back. When the police went to their residence and took the photo, they also bypassed... Oh, right. They went to the sliding glass doors. That's a good point. Twilight Twinkle says if BK was in the area to get rugs, but somehow got framed and knew the girls personally, wouldn't he tell that to someone instead of remaining quiet? You would think so, right? You would think so. Passion Flow, or maybe SG, was investigated, and now LE has something on him. Yeah, the dogs got riled. Right, Samantha? Lucky agrees with me. That was Lucky, yep. Nikki B says there are not many who recover from heroin. Yes, the sliding doors, Vicky says. Yeah, that's true. Care Scorpio says, and one time the police asked about a guy if he was the roommates with the blonde gal, and every time they asked for Maddie. Yeah, there's a lot of blondes there, huh? Good evening, Labrador T. Ayla. I hope I said it right. Ocean Deep, he does not look to me like a man on rugs, in my opinion. You never know if somebody looks like they're on rugs or not. I'm going to tell you. My ex, he didn't look like he was on rugs at all. He was bad rugs. He's now in prison. But you would have never guessed. There are some people, there are judges that do rugs, and there are teachers and doctors, and you can't tell because they know how to cover it up. And I'm talking bad rugs like heroin. Linda says one of the cops said, no stairs. Interesting. Why'd he say that? It was when the other cop took Kaylee's ID. Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. Care Scorpio, didn't someone also call a noise complaint while a cleaning crew was there also after the fact? Not that I know of, but I don't know the whole case. But could have been. Let me switch this over. It isn't normal for police to take the picture with their private cell phone, too. Private cell phone takes a picture of her ID. And then later she's red-rummed. CG. Oh. Susan Roscoe says sometimes CG looks like she's under the influence of rugs. Who knows? Nikki B says my brother-in-law sold everything from underneath our whole family. It gets weird. All right, you guys, my big thing I want to get back to is this call. So, think how important this is. It would be the absolute last action on her phone that Maddie or Kaylee would have used Maddie's phone to call Bethany, unless it was a perp, right? Oh yeah, okay. Thank you. We have almost 200 votes. Why do you think Maddie called Bethany at 2:53 a.m.? A, she wanted to know if Bethany was home yet. 19%. B, it was the perp using Maddie Mogen's phone. 30%. That is not the highest one. This is really divided up. C, Maddie Mogen was calling Bethany Funk for help. 21%. And D ties for B. So D and B are tied. The last answer, D, no idea. And why didn't Bethany answer the phone? 30%. So 2 at 30%. I mean, it is so evenly divided. 18, 30, 21, and 30. Everybody kind of feels different, right? Which is good because everybody needs to have their own opinion. Different opinions are what make us go around in this world. Same cop that was at the Banfield at 3 a.m., says Susan Ruskell. That is true. So the guy that takes the picture of Kaylee's ID on his cell phone, that cop, where the older cop is standing in the backyard looking over and saying, there's no stairs up there to that deck. That guy that uses his private cell phone to take a picture of Kaylee's phone is not only on duty that night, but less than a block away, all dressed, clad in black, in an unmarked white car that looks so close to the car driving around all over the place. And remember, DM said, someone said, I'm here to help you. Best light in the house is the bathroom. Thank you, Rich. Rachel's coming out with something. I don't know where she's coming from. She's talking to somebody. Jim Stark, could the 2 surviving members help the perps wash and dry their clothes, which is why they didn't phone the cops, perhaps? I have no idea to how to even think of that. Was the September or October when the footage of Kaylee and her ID happened? What was that, you guys? Was it September or October? When, I don't remember, when Kaylee had her ID taken. When the cop took a picture of Kaylee's ID. What month was that? Was it September or October? Hey, Carol Joggy, I don't believe Santa was the one using her phone either. I don't either. I absolutely do not believe that. And I've wondered, with her finger severed, almost severed, if they were like trying to get the finger to unlock her phone, like the fingerprint, and they just cut and, you know. You thought it was August? It could have been August. I don't remember. That's a good idea, Thomas Sharp. That's a great idea. Hi, Sam Smith. Welcome back. Oh, hang on a minute. That same cop told the boys on the field he was driving his own car because they didn't have a spare. Yep. Those kids didn't even think they were cops because they were like, you're not dressed like cops? Is that your car? It was warm. She was wearing a dress, and Hunter was in a t-shirt. True. But October can be warm too. Prime Candy, her whispering, poor Kaylee. And there's some people that are like, go warn Kaylee. I listened to it. I don't believe that. It says poor Kaylee, in my opinion. Was an odd thing to say at that time and creepy as heck. Right, Prime Candy? That's true. It probably was summer, like August, because of the no sleeve summer dress, Caroline. Okay, Nikki UK is saying August. Danny Anderson, hello, says August. Everybody's saying August. Cops are always saying, that's right, Librita. Cops are always saying that, I'm here to help you. Don't worry, I'm here to help you. Cops do say that. Samantha agrees with me. It says, definitely, it says, poor Kaylee. I really believe that. And that unlocked a lot of questions that I would have never asked before hearing somebody say, poor Kaylee. Why are you talking about Kaylee when you haven't even told 911 about her at all? There's no screaming of blood. There's nobody reacting to the crime scene. If this is the real, how do we, the whole concept that 4 human beings are laying slaughtered in the house, and these young adults are just sitting on social media and not caring and acting up, I say acting up, having the little, oh, I'm terrified, come on down by me, right? And then 20 minutes before they call 911, right? 20 minutes before they do that, which is, 8-9 hours later, they're on Yik Yak, an anonymous website for college students. And then when 911 is called, they're like, yeah, we don't know what happened, but can I tell you what happened? Hi, Toby. You said the other suspect, Cole, he works for a cleaning company, which motto is, we are here to help you. What's the cleaning company? I want to see that. I'll Google it now and we'll look up the slogan. Aw, good to see you, Jess Strelly. Good to see you. I hope that you have fun at work. I hope it goes good. Susan Roscoe, I feel that Ethan and Kara. Oh, Xana. You put Canna. Okay, Ethan and Xana were. Okay, chats. I could, but I'm not gonna. I feel that Ethan and Xana were dismissed before Kaylee and Maddie. That's why Ethan's mom says that 2 a.m. is the darkest hour. In the first timeline, the coroner said 2 a.m. they were dismissed. I do remember that. And she said these were like big open gouges, not stab wounds. That came right out of the coroner's mouth. I heard it and saw it with my own eyes and heard it with my own ears. So that's why I've always felt like a K-bar has no weight. And that S says I couldn't be there if they were my friends. I totally agree. No, Tristan, I don't believe that the 4 a.m. is exactly when the perp entered at all. A lot of us doubt that. We've been lied to so much in this case. Like all the roommates were sleeping, obviously not, that we don't trust it. And so, no, this poll is perfect, and it is exactly written the way I like it. However, this may not be your channel if you're locked in on your decision that 4 a.m. is exactly where it is, and you're going to make fun and troll other people that disagree with you. Because here, you can have any opinion you want, but you're not going to come on here and make fun of and bully others for thinking different than you. Because only a narcissist doesn't respect other people's opinions. Why do you think Maddie called Bethany at 2:53 a.m.? We're still the same. We got 30% think the perps used Maddie's phone, and 30% say, I have no idea. Why didn't Bethany answer? Well, on the bar stool, I think the cops did that. I think the cops put the bar stool in front of that window. Thomas Sharp, you win for the day. All these parents, except for Maddie, have other kids going to college. Ethan Chapin, they got, well, not Xana, not at that college, but think about it. Ethan's family's kids, the other triplets, Hunter and Maisie, got scholarships, right? So why would the parents say a damn thing? I would wonder, what about Kaylee's other siblings? Did they get scholarships as well? And did everybody have to basically sign a non-disclosure to get those scholarships so that you just stay away from the real narrative? Yeah. Thomas says the parents got money from Idaho, but they had to go along with the narrative. Makes you wonder. Yeah, we could be all here every day talking about all this stuff about the roommates, and it's all lies. They never said any of it. They're just, I mean, at this point, the whole thing looks staged. Sweet Cynic says, I think Kaylee and Maddie walked in on Xana and Ethan being killed. I think they recognized the killers and were chased upstairs. They, too, were killed shortly after BM and DM knew what happened. Ooh! I agree that could be possible. That could be very possible. No, me either. Samantha says I would never take money over my child's murder. No, me either. Hunter and Maisie, I promise you, got scholarships. I promise you. It was advertised. It was on the news. There was a whole thing where we saw them get these scholarships. Absolutely. Did the U of I have roommate death policy, giving students an automatic 4.0 grade average? Good question, Carolyn Miller. Great question. It's just wild. Hi, Pearl. You said these Idaho young people like to sleep. They don't sleep. They're on the phone all night. Yeah, I've never said that it's in my belief system that BK is 1,000% innocent. What I will say, and what I've always said, is I have not personally seen enough evidence to convict anyone of this crime, let alone BK. He didn't stalk him. They haven't put him physically on the property. There's legitimately nothing connecting him to that property other than touch DNA. And someone's like, how can you explain his knife sheath being in Maddie Mogen's bed? And I'm like, do you own everything that your touch DNA touches? Do you own the paper cup? Do you own the desk that your boss sits at when you touch that desk? No, you don't own it. So that's the problem, is people assume. And that's going to get, that's going to get Kohlberger shot, is the assumption that it's his sheath because his DNA's on it. That's wild. Did you know that a cop touches the back of your car so that if you speed away and then they catch the car, they find the car later, they track it back to you, you can't be like, well, that wasn't me in that car, prove it. He's like, okay, and they go do a finger little thing, and there, his DNA is, the cop's DNA is on your car. And he can be like, yeah, it was you because I touched your car. So you'll see them. That was one reason. And the second reason they touch your car is to avoid a static electric shock, right? So, but that is to leave their mark on your car. They'll pull their glove off and barehanded touch your car. Often. Touch DNA is junk science. It has been outlawed in many countries. Passion flower, true. And in fact, the military won't use touch DNA. If this was a military trial, they'd have absolutely nothing on BK. Like, nothing. Nothing. What about the Amazon info? Robert K., great question. So what the hell? 8 months prior, he bought a knife. Doesn't matter at all to me, not in the least, because there are 1 gazillion types of K-bar knives, and they've never shown me any receipt to say that that is the exact knife that matches that sheath, for one. Number 2, I still don't believe a K-bar was the weapon. See, I personally think that sheath is Maddie's. I think she ran up to her room to grab it and threw the sheath on the bed and is going to defend herself. And that's how whoever it was got cut hand and bled inside the black glove that's laying in the backyard. They probably also went downstairs chasing Ethan, who was grabbing a golf club, and left a little bit of blood on the railing. Who knows? All hypothetical. But I do believe that sheath belonged to Maddie Mogen, and that is why it was in her room. Now, as far as how did the DNA get there? With the fake Bureau of Investigation being nothing more than being like, yeah, here's the sticky note that says Brian's DNA is the one on the sheath, when Payne said the FBI never said it was Brian's DNA on that sheath. There's a problem. And so for me, they simply lied and said his DNA is on that sheath. We got nothing from any scientific level We have no lab results saying, yep, that's Brian's DNA right there on that sheet, because Ortham couldn't do it. The other places couldn't do it. But they gave it to the FBI, and they doubled the size of the DNA. They cloned the DNA in some manner, and then were able to do their own testing, which nobody can know about, and they'll just write it down on a piece of paper and hand it to the defense and walk away. And then we're supposed to be like, oh, okay, so we can't know how you did that? If it was all legit, if Brian's DNA was on that sheath, why did all the other expert, including the state crime lab, not grab it and pick it up? But the almighty superhero, fake Bureau of Investigation, magically came up with the name. Right there. Yeah, it's his DNA. Right, Jim Bob? Yep, Bob Jim, it is. See what I'm saying? Exactly, Scorpio. So many kids involved in this are witnesses in photos having K-bars. Exactly. K-bar. You guys act like a K-bar is like this wildly uncommon thing to have. I live in a town that if we took a survey, I would promise you that 75% of the people in my town own a K-bar knife. They may even have one in their garage because they're a nice fixed blade knife to cut anything and everything. It's just a standard knife. K-bar makes, it's kind of like, I would say 75% of the people in my town own a Carhartt mitten or glove or hat or jacket. Carhartt is what we use in this town. So, I mean, K-bar is, so what? I don't give a fluck what he bought when he lived at home with his mom and dad, going to college 8 months prior, not even in the state, didn't even know about these girls existing. He bought a K-bar knife, a sheath to put it in, and a sharpening stone. Oh my God. Right? No, that's normal. I mean, I don't know where y'all are from. Maybe you're city folk and you just don't need a strong knife. I don't know. But around here, you better not break into one of our homes, because we have protection in many forms of it. Karen Bell says, weird, he took a pic of it. Came to mind something stalker would do. Who? I gotta look back. Right, where's the picture? Okay, Susan Roscoe has a good point. When you order from Amazon, you have pictures of everything you ordered and purchased. My daughter consistently goes through her account to reorder it again. Where's the pictures of what BK ordered? That's a great question, because you're right. You are right. Chrissy says the 4 a.m. was a divert to pin it on a nobody. Oh, Chrissy, you're going to get the final goat of the day. Amen. Pass the butter. You win. I agree. The 4 a.m. was a divert to pin it on a nobody. That's right. And they were scrambling. You know what I think they were doing? I think they were talking to their house mamas, right? I think they were talking to some school people, trying to figure out what the hell to do to protect the school. That's what I think. Hi, Adrian. Adrian! The defense is saying that Kohlberger wants to show proof that there are other perps involved with the crime. Dated March 17th, 2025. Correct. There are. Danny Anderson says, I believe W.S.U. Kim from the very beginning. Me too. Everything she said needs to be dissected and investigated for real answers. Yeah, Kim was always on here. She was always in our audience, and I mean, she always said they all knew ahead of time. I always felt bad that everybody chewed on her when I felt that it was true. Sweet Cynic says, I would like to know if any of the victims purchased a K-bar knife. So would I. Or roommates that are living. Like, side-eye DM, right? The way she takes that picture with Kaylee. It's just like, what the hell? Kaylee's like, my phone, I'll take a picture with me and my roommate. And she's all like, And then you got DM on the side going, it's creepy. Like, creepy. And it's not just one. Like, there's a picture in the car. And it's Kaylee. She's in a white t-shirt and she's smiling. And DM's like, only got half her face on there. And she's like, looking at Kaylee all creepy. That's not normal. I'm sorry. That's not normal. The conspiracy. Hello, lovely. Mama D, I don't think BK would have bought that type of knife sheath being a vegan. That's a good point, too. Nikki B, they had the big machete in the watermelon chopping video. These girls loved knives. That's why I said that probably is their knife. It's by the bed. Where else are you going to put a knife if you're a girl? By your bed. So that if anybody comes in there, you got it. Right? Just my opinion. That's a great idea. Susie is saying we need to do a survey, and we'll do it next time we're on here, of how many people own a K-bar knife. We're going to do it. Oh, chat's flying. Oh, I see why. There's a lot of people in here. Viv says, I'd like to know if any of the open gouges came with the K-bar signature. Because if you know, how do we know for sure it was a K-bar knife? Billy says rugs are the elephant in the room. See, and I disagree. Otherwise, you'd think that they would have toxicology reports of filthy, but that's not the case. Jeanette Diltz, there were pics of DM and her boyfriend holding K-bar knives floating around on YouTube, allegedly. Thank you, dear. Yes, Ocean 1111, I'm the same way. You say I keep a knife by my bed, just saying I'm a woman. Hey, when I go camping, I've got my knives, right? All right, my lovelies, it's time for Mama to get off here. I've got some housework to do. I have thoroughly enjoyed our time together. I hope you did as well, and that you'll come back and see me very soon. And I'm sorry if I didn't get to read your question or your thought, but I did my very, very best. I slowed chat down, hopefully. And I don't know. I just can't get this. Why would... I mean, we could sit here and guess a million ways, but it's going to be on my head for a long time. Was that really Maddie on Maddie's phone at 2:53 a.m.? Or was that the perp calling Bethany to let her know it's over? Because Bethany never picked up, didn't answer the call, and didn't ring her back right away. Didn't even seem concerned about it. That's a lot to think about. But that's what I'm going to leave you on. When we come back, we're going to be talking about... it was something with Xana I was going to be talking about. I can't remember. You'll just have to tune in and see. Make sure that you're subscribed if you want to know when I am live again. And, or ring the bell. And if you'd be so kind... hit that like button. It always helps. I love you guys to the moon and back. I hope you have a fantastic week. If I don't see you again very soon, which I'm sure I will. Thank you, Susie66 and Rach, Moonchild, Librata, Karen Bell, Ocean Deep, Zoe, Viv, Linda, Joe P. You're right, it doesn't make sense. None of it made sense. Thank you, Scorpio Girl. Did I say Prime Candy? If I didn't, I did now. Love you, Rach. Love you, my beautiful mods. Love ya. Bye, Moonchild. Bye, Ash. Bye, Joe P. Night, Nikki B. Good night, John Boy. Remember the Waltons? Bye, guys. Thank you, Thomas Sharp. Thank you, Scorpio Girl.